This country shouldn't be where it is. This country shouldn't be in debt. There's no way. It is unjustifiable. I cannot, by the life in me, understand why we are where we are. I cannot. I refuse to embrace this unpleasant reality. I refuse. I am a persistent objector to this conventional and mundane existence. And yet we are sitting on trillions of dollars of mineral wealth. But it doesn't work. The Washington consensus is absolute nonsense. Don't come to me and tell me government must not get involved in the arena of production. No, I don't care from what school of economics you get it from, Chicago school, whatever. No, it's absolute nonsense. It doesn't work. And it will not work here. So let's try something we may even not know. If the economy is not performing, it means the intelligentsia of the country has failed and has failed miserably. We all must admit to this collective failure, in my humble view. We have failed. This country shouldn't be where it is. This country shouldn't be in debt. There's no way. It is unjustifiable. I cannot, by the life in me, understand why we are where we are. I cannot. I refuse to embrace this unpleasant reality. I refuse. I am a persistent objector to this conventional and mundane existence. And so if we accept that we have failed this country, all of us, because we thought the diamonds are coming, they will keep the revenue from the diamonds will keep coming, and whatever else, it's always going to flow. Over the years, if you've been there for a long time, you must hold yourself guilty. It's a mea culpa, because it means you have been complicit in the failure. You've contributed immensely, and that's why perhaps people are saying you should be fired, because they are saying we shouldn't be here. We have educated people. They have been there. What have they?
This is not just another African news headline. This is history in motion. In a move that shocked the world, Botswana, Africa's second-largest diamond exporter, has just slammed the brakes on all foreign diamond exports. But it doesn't stop there. They've officially aligned themselves with Captain Ibrahim Traoré's AES bloc, a coalition of anti-neocolonial African leaders that's rewriting the continent's future. The US is rattled, Europe is scrambling, and Africa is rising. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear could redefine African sovereignty forever. Let's break this down. In the span of just 2 years, Africa has witnessed a massive political shift, a continental wave of resistance to Western control, IMF debt traps, and foreign resource exploitation. And right at the center of this movement is Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the 36-year-old military leader of Burkina Faso, now revered by millions as a modern Thomas Sankara. But what's shaking the globe right now is the unexpected arrival of Botswana, a democratic and resource-rich southern African nation, joining Traoré's ideological front. To understand the magnitude of this event, we must first understand the man who's leading this wave, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. A military officer turned revolutionary, Traoré took power in Burkina Faso in September 2022 through a popular coup, vowing to end foreign military dependency and reclaim control over Burkina Faso's vast natural resources, particularly gold. Since then, he's expelled French troops from the country, nationalized gold assets, building Burkina's first 100% locally made gold bar, launched Africa's largest digital toll system, without foreign contractors, formed the AES alliance with Mali and Niger, a Pan-African, anti-imperialist bloc standing for security, sovereignty, and economic independence. And now, Botswana, a diamond-rich nation historically aligned with the West, has stepped onto Traoré's stage. Botswana is no small player. It's home to the De Beers Diamond Empire, producing nearly 25% of the world's gem-quality diamonds. For decades, the country has exported billions worth of diamonds to the US, the UK, Belgium, and Israel, mostly under contracts favoring foreign corporations. But as of this week, Botswana has suspended all diamond exports to foreign powers until, in their words, a new African-centered value chain is established. The announcement came from the office of Botswana's president, accompanied by an unexpected diplomatic signal. Open support for the AES bloc. Africa must control its minerals, from extraction to final product. We will no longer be a continent of exporters, but of manufacturers, said a senior official in Gaborone. The Alliance of Sahel States, AES, founded by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, is more than just a military pact. Welcome to the Real African Voice, the platform where Africa speaks for itself. Here, we bring you raw stories, real conversations, and unapologetic truths straight from the heart of the continent and its diaspora. Whether it's culture, history, current affairs, or everyday life, this is where truth echoes louder than noise. Real talk, real people, real Africa, one continent, a million stories, one voice that speaks them all. Subscribe, stay locked in, and be part of the movement. This is the Real African Voice. Disclaimer for the Real African Voice. Content shared here is intended for informational, educational, and cultural purposes only. While we strive to present accurate and respectful representations of African experiences, cultures, and perspectives, we encourage viewers to do their own research and engage with diverse sources. We do not promote hate speech, misinformation, or any form of discrimination. Any offensive comments will be removed and users may be blocked. It's a Pan-African political revolution built on ending neocolonialism, reclaiming Africa's natural resources, establishing sovereign economic policies, and resisting foreign military bases, with Botswana stepping in. This alliance has now officially expanded beyond the Sahel region, signaling the beginning of a continental movement. And it's terrifying the West. The U.S. State Department issued a classified briefing to key embassies across Africa, expressing concern over what they call growing anti-Western alignment. European Union officials are reportedly preparing new resource control measures in response to unilateral African restrictions. In Belgium, the world's largest diamond hub, trade ministers were quoted saying, "If Africa begins to restrict diamond flows, we'll need to rethink our entire supply structure. This could severely impact the global jewelry and luxury market." They're scared. Scared because the faucet is closing. And for the first time, Africa holds the tap. Botswana has long walked a careful line, balancing between national pride and foreign dependency. Its economy depends heavily on diamond revenue, but the people have grown restless. Recent reports from Gaborone and Francistown show widespread support among youth and civil society groups for economic independence. A leaked contract between Botswana's government and a European mining firm revealed that 90% of rough diamond profits left the country, with less than 10% reinvested in local development. Social media exploded. Thousands protested online and on the streets. And in an unexpected twist, Botswana's parliament held an emergency session, ultimately voting to freeze exports and renegotiate contracts under Pan-African principles. Ibrahim Traoré didn't need to send troops, cash, or threats. He just needed a vision, and that vision is now spreading. ES leaders praised Botswana's move, with a joint statement saying, "Speaking head, this is the future of Africa. A united front where our resources work for our people, not for foreign empires." And it doesn't stop here. Rumors in Namibia and Zimbabwe suggest similar discussions are underway. Ghanaian youth groups have publicly asked their leaders to join the new Africa. And on platforms like X, formerly Twitter, hashtag Africa for Africans and hashtag Traoré Effect are now trending globally. This isn't just a ban. It's a symbol. Turning point. For decades, Africa's resources built the world's richest nations. Diamonds, gold, oil, cobalt, extracted under unfair terms, exported at low prices, and processed into wealth elsewhere. Now, under Traoré's rising influence, countries like Botswana are saying, no more. No more foreign monopolies. No more extraction without value addition. No more treaties signed in Europe but enforced in Africa. This is Africa building its future on its own terms. So the world blinked. And when it opened its eyes again, Botswana, Africa's top diamond producer, had just flipped the script. For decades, Botswana was hailed as a model African democracy, a quiet, stable exporter of raw diamonds to Europe. But what many never saw, what they were never told, was that the country was bleeding wealth in silence. While De Beers and European buyers got filthy rich, only a fraction of the true value stayed in Botswana. For every $100 earned from Botswana's diamonds, less than $10 came back to the people. The rest, siphoned off through mining contracts that were signed under pressure, in a post-colonial system built to extract, not empower. But now, that system has been challenged, and from the most unexpected place. President Mokgweetsi Masisi, standing side by side with Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso and Assimi Goïta of Mali, is not just talking. He's acting. Botswana has put a shocking freeze on all diamond exports to the EU and UK. They've ordered a full audit of mining deals signed with foreign companies over the past 40 years. And they've announced plans to build Africa's first fully African-owned diamond value chain, from mining to processing to international sales. This is the first time in African history that a country so dependent on a single mineral, diamonds, has stood up and said, "We will not be robbed anymore. We will control our resources. Our wealth will stay in Africa." And that message, it echoed across the continent. From the streets of Accra to the townships of Johannesburg, from Bamako to Niamey, Africans erupted in applause. Social media exploded with the hashtag Red Triangle pointed down, hashtag Our Diamonds, Our Destiny, Red Triangle pointed down, hashtag Africa for Africans, Red Triangle pointed down, hashtag Botswana stands tall. But this isn't just about diamonds. It's about what they represent. Africa's right to say no. Africa's right to demand equity. Within hours of the announcement, the British Foreign Office issued a strongly worded statement, warning that Botswana's actions could destabilize international trade. European diamond markets dipped. CEOs of luxury brands started holding emergency meetings. But it was the people, not the profits, that the West feared most. Why? Because if Botswana could do it, who's next? Ghana with its gold? Nigeria with its oil? Namibia with its uranium? DRC with cobalt? One act of defiance becomes a blueprint. And Traoré knew this. That's why, during a joint press conference in Ouagadougou, he said, "Africa doesn't need pity. Africa needs power, and we will take it back one mineral at a time." And just like that, the AES alliance, once dismissed as a military bloc, became something more, a geopolitical resistance force, an economic revolution, a symbol of hope for over 1.4 billion Africans. It started with soldiers taking charge. Then it turned into governments pushing back. But today, it's become a full-blown economic rebellion. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and now Botswana are no longer playing by Western economic rules. They're building their own. If we control our land, our resources, and our trade, we control our future. And that's exactly what the Alliance of Sahel States is doing. Construction. They've cut off military dependency on France, and the U.S. nationalized key mineral assets, canceled exploitative mining contracts, launched new currency talks to ditch the CFA franc, and now formed a united front for African-led trade and infrastructure. This isn't just sovereignty. It's sovereignty with strategy. And now, with Botswana's entry and diamond ban, the AES bloc is no longer confined to the Sahel. It's expanding south. What Traoré, Goïta, and Masisi are building isn't just a political friendship. It's a Pan-African economic engine. Here's the vision. No more exporting raw materials for peanuts. No more begging for IMF loans. No more waiting on Europe or America to approve African progress. Instead, they're creating joint infrastructure projects. AES countries are building shared railways, roads, and digital corridors to connect the continent without needing World Bank approval. Resource coordination. Burkina Faso handles gold and agriculture. Niger provides uranium and oil. Mali is rich in cotton and lithium. Botswana dominates in diamonds. Now imagine all that strategically pooled and processed locally. A new reserve fund. AES has proposed a Pan-African sovereign wealth fund to ensure no country ever has to bow to Western lenders again. And what makes this explosive? They're doing it without colonial consultants, without Wall Street, and without surrendering any sovereignty. Since this shift began, the West has been scrambling. France has been kicked out of military bases across the Sahel. The US just withdrew forces from Niger. The European Union is now facing supply chain risks for key minerals like uranium and lithium. The diamond markets in Belgium and the UK are seeing slowdowns due to Botswana's ban. And while Western leaders warn of instability, African youth see something else. Hope, ownership, dignity. Because for the first time in decades, Africa is defining its own story. Not as victims, not as charity cases, but as partners on equal ground or not at all. The AES bloc, with Botswana now aligned, is proof that when African nations collaborate, not compete, they win. The road ahead won't be easy. There will be pressure, sanctions, threats, possibly even coups and sabotage. But the message is clear. Africa is done waiting. Africa is building. And every toll booth, every refinery, every new alliance is another brick in a wall protecting the continent's future. So the world better watch, because a silent storm is turning into a thunderous roar. From Ouagadougou to Gaborone, this is a new Africa, and it's just getting started.